In this video, I am going to show you how to change a puck um, out of a clamp and putting a different puck in a clamp. Oftentimes, we're using different materials, different shades, and we run out of clamps. And it is important to be able to know how to manage a clamp. Okay. This is a clam that is, or a puck that we've used for the first time, and we have never taken it off of the clamp. This is a good example because you can tell how it was placed in a way where it is horizontal and everything, which is nice. Not critiquing anything here. It is very good. However, when we take this out and we try to put it back in, how do we put it in? What's the orientation of this in the puck? How do we know? How do we know? So the first thing that I like to do, I leave multiple indications on where this is, how the puck is oriented inside the clamp. One thing to do is to grab a pen and actually label these edges right there, which whoever did put this, has already labeled it. This helps tremendously so that when we are going back and forth, this process becomes much quicker. Previously, as you can tell here, we had Sharpies and we would try to align it with the Sharpie marks, but it really doesn't matter because if you want to put in a different puck, then this frame, in a different clam, this frame is going to be in this puck or with this clamp, and it's not going to matter as much. So we stop using these marks on the ring of the clamp completely. Again, remember the printed surface is the incisal edge, as you can read here, incisal side. And this is a multi-layer zirconium, so incisal is lighter in color and more translucent than the bottom, so really have to make sure you pay attention to this. When we are, for example, milling, let's say, a puck full of crowns all at once, rarely do we ever use that, but let's say the next crown that we're going to mill in this puck, we'll put it right around here. And so this B1 T18 will completely gets wiped off. And when it does, we have no reference in whatsoever as to what puck this is altogether when it is outside the clamp. Because if this is completely wiped out, then how do we know? Usually they have Ivoclar is pretty good about this. Katana not as much. Ivoclar has a barcode here. They don't. This is not a barcode. This is not a code that belongs to this puck in particular at all. So this is not a barcode for this puck. So just make sure you pay attention to that. So if you want to be extra with this from the get-go, you can actually type or write here B1 T18 on the very edges of it. And then once you take it out, you want the shrinkage factor as well. I'm going to take it out. And you want these numbers because, again, you want them as a reference. So remove this. And you have the shrinkage factor right there, 1.226. So what I like to do is write it right here too. 1.226. That way, if this ring gets loose, again, Katana is not good about this, because if this ring actually is broken off when we do all on milling, this is not attached to this or glued to it at all, so it can come off, and we don't know then what's the shrinkage factor of this, even though it's saved on the computer. But if this whole thing is wiped out and the ring is loose, and I'll show you an example here. That is this. So we did an all on, and the ring was loose. I don't even know. Do I know if this ring belongs to this? Well, we know because we kept it together. But nonetheless, we wrote what it is, because you can see there's no reference as to what this puck is. It is A2, 22 millimeter. And these are the codes that it has. And then this is the shrinkage factor. This is really important to kind of know, because as you can tell, the ring is completely chewed up exactly where this information is right here. 1.226 here. This is 1.225. So we wrote it before this got chewed up, and that's why we can preserve this puck, and we can use it later on still. If in case we didn't do any of that, there's still a way to track this information, even if all of it is completely gone, like this one. I can look at Hyperdent, the software, and look at what this is on there, and be able to distinguish which puck this was. And I actually can place it in the clamp myself, properly and correctly, without any of the labels on the side at all, and it would be 99% accurate. But we don't want, we try to avoid that as much as possible by being organized. So I'm going to put this aside. Again, so we have this buck that came out of here. Again, if you recall, this is where we put the marks right there. You can see them there, even though they're too kind of light here. I'm gonna emphasize it a little bit more with the pen. Okay. And that way we kind of can make sure this is, we can trace it. I always go back to Hyperdent to double check what or how this is seated in there. Okay, with that being said, now we're going to try to place this Ivoclar puck. Again, the nice thing about Ivoclar, though you don't have any of the information on there, well, you have one here, and it's 16 millimeter, so it's almost chewed up. But the nice thing is they keep it on the side as well. They give you the shrinkage factor. They give you the width of the zirconium puck. They actually create a code for the puck based on what it is. So for example, the code for this puck is PR, standing for prime regular A1, right? And then they give you just a random numbers like codes, and then 93. So that way we know how to trace this puck and know where it is. Okay. In Hyperdent, that is. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here, and I'll show you how do I align it. Okay, so as you can tell here, Ivy clock comes with its own indicators, and if we see a blue, that means that's ours. And it looks like we may have done it this way. And then if I look carefully, we may have actually added the central notch here to align with this, which is pretty nice. Yeah, see that? It's aligned with the central notch of the frame. So if you could do that, that would be nice too. Okay, that way we are a little bit quicker on how to set this puck. Now, if you want me to check it after you've placed it, just give me call me and I'll check it for you on the computer, and I'll show you here how do I check it so you kind of have a reference on how to do that as well. I go in with this so the frame is all the way, and if you hear the screw, that means it's done. It doesn't go beyond a certain torque. Okay, so now this is in place. Now to verify that this is in place, I am going to go over here. I am going to pull up the puck from Hyperdent. Again, the way you do that is you open up Hyperdent. This is this software, okay? And let me show you here. So you're gonna go to pucks, and you're gonna want to go to if I can, PRA1, and it ends with 9-3. So on here, we're going to look for PR, and then it ends with 9-3. This is, there it is. So just to confirm, this is PRA1 YY1093, and it's shade A1. And if I click on it, you can see here, this is, it looks like that is the one. So I'm going to open it actually. And then from here, I have the puck with what actually happened to it here. So all the crowns that were milled out of this puck. If I go to the very end here, this button right here, it says show all. I'm going to click on show all, and that will bring the frame over here too. And you can see the frame here, it should match this frame here. And the way it's positioned, right? You see that? The metal frame in the top, right there. And the screws on the side. So it should match, right? So what I do is then now I'm going to hold it. There is a button over here that it wants, if you want to look at it directly this way, you click on this button right here, and this is going to flip this guy over here directly to match. So what I do is I kind of zoom out until it kind of approximate the same size, life size of the puck, and I try to align it, and I have to center my vision to make sure that I'm looking at it straight and correctly. So that's how I know we are good to go, and it looks pretty good actually. So as long as there's not major differences. And that's how you change a puck and a clamp. Okay, hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.